Hello, welcome to Footcorn TV. This is Where the North Bank, and we've got Dom on. How are we doing, sir?
Yeah, really good, mate. Thank you. I'm loving the North Bank stuff. It was my first ever Arsenal match was in the North Bank. Funny enough, it was 0-0 against Coventry. And memory of the match was, I think it was Ian Wright, but I might be misremembering the Arsenal player breaking Steve Aguzovic's nose. Aguzovic came out really aggressively, really quickly, and smothered the ball. And I think it was Ian Wright's knee went straight into his nose. And
That's a whole different story altogether, isn't it? But I've got a ticket in the North Bank, and the channel used to be called We're the North Bank. So I've kind of gone back to that, more or less, in a kind of roundabout way. I've just kind of made it a show now.
nice. So, with your new logo that I 100% noticed.
Yeah, you didn't know. But, yeah, I'll forgive you. It means a lot to me. It doesn't have to mean anything to you, you know.
I like it. I like it. It's the Arsenal colours. I like it. You know, I know the yellow's in there, but yellows that's your away kit I associate with Arsenal.
Yeah. I guess I don't like it when we have blue away kits, to be honest with you, because we've never really done well in them.
Well, it's not just that. I mean, they kind of look nice, but I just don't. I know Arsenal have always got a bit of blue on their home kit, but I just don't like Arsenal in blue. It's like we shouldn't be in blue.
Yeah, I don't think there is any blue on this home kit, is there?
There might be some somewhere, but
I don't think there is.
No, but there is. It was quite often blue anyway.
And I'm incredibly glad about that, because I hated last year's with the blue stripe.
I didn't like that either.
Absolutely horrible. It's like, yeah, of all the colours you could have picked, and you didn't have to pick gold before anybody starts in the kind of sections going, hey, you just want a gold one. Yes, I do want a gold one, but for the right reasons. Yes, and before anybody says anything about that, that was gold because it was an anniversary of the league before anything else. So yeah. But there we go. Guys, if you're in the channel, please make sure you're hitting the like and subscribe. Subscribe to Dom's channel as well. It's Awesome Domination. Just follow his lettering that's there. And we'll get some subs up and some likes in there. Drop any comments in there that you kind of need answering or you want to get involved. And we'll get to them as soon as we possibly can. So, appreciate any involvement that you want to throw our way as well. Thank you very much indeed. Wolves, have we recovered?
We'll find out on Saturday.
No, I mean us, as in fans, as in, you know, I know some fans haven't recovered because the pitchforks are out and they're having meltdowns here, left, right, and centre. You know, I was watching a stream earlier on where basically going, fans having a meltdown is going to affect the players. Yeah. Huh? Okay. Do you see that? Do you actually think that makes any sense?
No, I don't think so. I mean, look, I think let's start with Wolves really quickly. I mean, I'm sure we can all agree that the performance was incredibly poor. Certainly the poorest of the season so far, without question. Arguably the poorest for quite some time. Before that, you know, it was. I don't know about you, but it was relief for me at full time.
Yeah, it's been coming though, hasn't it? I mean, the performances like that has actually been coming. It's like been teetering on the edge of.
Yeah, a little bit. You know, Arsenal, I think, have always sort of found a way in most of those games, and I think it's just a little bit of a dip in form that they're going through, which I think most teams go through. But it was certainly relief at the full-time whistle, and it was, you know, I know people are saying, well, they won it by 2 own goals. I was like, they still count, and Bukayo Saka still put in 2 excellent crosses. But yeah, it was 100% relief. I think, you know. For me as a fan, I think you know I now, you know, am looking at Everton and looking for a reaction against Everton. I think the week off will do the players some good, and I don't expect Arsenal will put in a performance like that again this season. And I think the mentality the players showed when they went off the pitch and the reaction they had to the game, coupled with the manager's reaction throughout the game, both on the touchlines in terms, you could see his anger on the touchline, early substitutions, in the press conference, he was still angry, even though they won the game. He was making, no excuses at all for that performance out there. I think all of that, in some ways, is actually a potentially good thing for Arsenal going into Everton. To your question on the fans, am I worried by that performance in isolation? No. Do I think Arsenal are going through a dip? Yes. Do I think we can still beat Everton? Yes, but I think it will be a tough game. But I don't think that the overall reaction from the fans is going to overly affect Arsenal players I think they'll be aware of it. The media relations officers will be making them aware of it anyway, because they're going to be having to face the media at some point, or some of them will be potentially. Certainly, the manager's going to be, so they'll be aware of it. They won't, be able to shut themselves off entirely from it. But I think the fact that they did that dressing room post-mortem and their reaction at the end of the day tells you everything that the fans are saying anyway, that they're aware of it, so they don't need to know from the fans. So I don't think it will make a reaction, but I don't know what your view is.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's purely warranted, wasn't it? Obviously, the whole the post-mortem thing, it wasn't a very good performance. It wasn't helped by White going off when Calafiori couldn't be on the field, so it would lost any kind of penetration past that back line. So I don't think it was helped by that. But equally, I just think that the performance was so flat, and yeah, it just wasn't great at all. And yeah, we looked out. Nobody is against admitting that. Yeah, we just looked out, and as much as they were on goals have won games before, they'll do it again.
Yep.
I didn't see anybody screaming about the own goal at Newcastle against Sunderland. I didn't see anybody screaming about the one at Villa Park.
What an own goal that was, by the way.
I have never seen an own goal so well taken in all my life.
I heard a Newcastle fan genuinely wonder whether he got confused that was the end he was shooting at. It looked like it.
It looked that way. It just looked that way that he was genuinely confused. It really did.
Cat's in.
Oh, my cat really needs attention now, apparently. Yeah, you can sod off. You've had food. So yeah, I don't know why he's chosen this particular moment to be noisy, but yeah, been quiet all day. But yeah, I mean, it was lucky we got away with one. But I do think we created the opportunity to get the actual goals. Timber's right behind the keeper. Had he been out of the way of that of the rebound off the post, so I think that goes in anyway.
And I think the second one goes in as well off of Jesus, or certainly it's a shot on target.
I absolutely think it would be on target, but I'm happy for Mosquera because I think he was a shite house the whole game. He was like it last year.
He was the guy that strangled Havertz on the floor, wasn't he?
He was the guy that did the chokehold on Havertz and then feigned injury and fell over. He was also the guy that put the finger up Jesus's ass, and Jesus pushed him off and he got booked for it.
Yeah.
So I have no sympathy for him whatsoever. I think it was quite just desserts for him. And yeah, you can say that I'm holding a bit of a grudge. Yeah, a bit really, because I think that things like that, I think they should be dealt with retrospectively. If they're not dealt with in the game, I think they should be dealt with off the field. And I do think that they should have some form of punishment for it.
Well, whether it VAR's there for, isn't it?
Well, I mean, it's, dare I say, sexual abuse and stuff, you know. I mean, if it was a female player, it's just not right. It's just
well, if me or you did that in the office, we'd be, carted off to the local Nick, and rightly so.
Well, right? Yeah, I mean, obviously that's reliant on somebody reporting it and whatever. But you know, you can't just carry on with things that aren't being reported, can you? It's just yeah, it just doesn't make sense. And to be honest with you, a lot of some strange decisions have come against Wolves over the years for Arsenal. Really, got the Diaz sending off, David Luiz sending off. We got the Martinelli sending off, the 2 yellow cards. It's there's been some strange happenings going on there, but
We've always
not saying that they get a benefit of anything. I'm just saying that it's just weird.
Yeah, it is. It happens sometimes. What do you think sort of sat behind that performance? Because I have a bit of a theory on this one, but I'd be interested in your view on what you think the underlying cause of that poor performance was on Saturday. I mean, I also don't think, by the way, we're going to be that bad again this season. I really don't. But
I hope not. I mean, obviously there's general fatigue. There's a little bit of rotation. I'm not sure about the lineup. I'm not. I would have started with Lewis Skelly on the left hand side anyway. I think Timber needed a bit of a breather. But then I think White needed a breather as well. So it's a bit odd. I get why he started White because he had no penetration on the left hand side. But yeah, I just find it a bit odd that Chelsea player got booked.
Pat Nevin will be up in arms.
Yeah. I mean that's the most yellow card out of the lot of them, to be honest. But I just think that there's some overplaying going on. Zubimendi needs a rest. Rice had a rest, but his rest was in when he was ill. So he's probably still a bit fatigued from that, maybe.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
I still don't think we're playing to Gyökeres's strengths. That's a that shot that Martinelli had.
He's going back to Masterclass, Chris. He didn't square it.
It just needs to square it, man. I mean, he didn't even look, right? And at least if you look, at least it gives the keeper some kind of, is he going to square it? Is he going to do whatever? And I think that this is a part of the problem. The keeper knows what our player's going to do. If we just ponder over it so long, and then the winger comes at it, generally from that left-hand side, I just think it's so predictable.
It is a big thing about Martinelli, isn't it? He doesn't look up. And I think, most of what you've said there, I agree with. I think with Gyökeres, I think there's an element of, I think, need a little bit more from him. I think he needs to get onto those balls more. He needs to be on his toes more. But I know you weren't saying it was all us, by the way. But otherwise, I agree. I think, with Ben White, I think it was the one thing I disagreed with post-match press conference for Mikel Arteta's word. Otherwise, I agreed pretty much wholeheartedly with what he had to say post-match. But I think the one I didn't agree with, I had no choice. Actually, and look, most fans, if not all fans, pretty much had Ben White in their starting lineup for this one. He's been on form. But you look at it in hindsight and go, actually, 4 games in 10 days. He hasn't started 4 games in a row for a long time because of his injuries. It probably was, a very predictable injury. And there was an option. Now, what we don't know is how fit Jurrien Timber was. But, because right back is more demanding than centre back. But there was an option to put him there. To be honest, against Wolves, you could probably drop Christian Norgard into that back four. I'm not trying to disrespect Wolves in any way, shape, or form, but I think you probably can do that.
But we were 10 yards inside their half the whole game.
He'd have almost played midfield the whole game anyway.
Where we've normally got a centre back and whatever, or a full back normally, because it's not the centre back's covering that.
Yeah.
Raya was there, so he was sweeping.
Yeah, exactly.
Obviously, he could have done the same thing that we did against that Richarlison did against Spurs, because he is so high.
Yeah, but that happens once in a blue moon, right? But I mean,
never shot like that again.
No, but I mean, my sort of theory behind this, and I think you probably saw it in something I put out earlier, but I don't think we as players treated Wolves with any respect whatsoever, and I don't think we were mentally right for the game. So I've no major issues with the lineup. I've no major issues with the tactics. To be honest with you, and I've heard people sort of saying Mikel Arteta was telling him to defend that last 10 minutes. not judging by his signals on the sideline, he was.
I think he was telling him to defend.
I think yes, defend
not
better,
like that.
but not like that. Yeah, exactly. He was.
There was
furious
no
about
pressure on the ball. There
No.
was nothing. He's never going to say just defend flat and
Yeah,
just
yeah.
let him come to you.
No, I think you're right.
The instruction would have been get in front, get back, get one on the break, because they're going to come at you.
I don't think it was even that, looking at his reaction on the sideline. I think it was make sure we defend properly because they're going to have to come at us more. But I don't think it was drop back like we did. I think that's probably something sort of a little bit ingrained with them because Arsenal, being a defensive side that are, that relied on their defence, are now capable of attacking more. I think it was old habit, because he was fuming and waving them forward a little bit more, But obviously, you're right. He didn't want them to defend like that. So when he was telling them to defend, it was defend properly, not just defend. But
Yeah.
I just think that my big criticism there is mentality-wise, I just do not think they respected Wolves before the game. They thought it was going to be easy. They thought they didn't have to get out of first gear. And credit to Wolves, that was arguably their best performance of the season. And we made them look good to some extent because of how poor we were. But I think Wolves do deserve some credit. People are saying, well, they got battered by Man United last week. They did, but they decided to play open against Manchester United. They learned from that.
They didn't respect Man United at all. They literally tried to play against them.
Yeah.
They showed no respect for them whatsoever. So it's just basically, well, we've got a chance against these, so let's go for it. And the ironic thing is, if they'd have played that way, they'd have probably got something.
Yeah, I think they probably could have. But I think Arsenal showed them a lack of respect and suffered for it. I really do. I think Mikel Arteta, that's where he's got to look and go, I should have had the players better mentally prepared.
More motivated.
And the players as well have to take responsibility for that as well. They're professionals.
Absolutely, as well. Absolutely. I mean, Gyökeres is getting some stick as well this week, and yeah, rightly so to a degree. But yeah, there was a perfect time where Martinelli could have played him in twice, to be honest, and Martinelli missed a sitter as well from a corner.
He didn't have a good game, Martinelli.
He didn't have a good game, and he basically broke through the line once. And was he up against? He was up against Mosquera, wasn't he?
I think he would have been. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that there was a bit of rough and tumble with him, and he was kind of getting away with quite a lot. And then anything on a breakout, they basically throw themselves on the floor. And the time wasting, man, is just a joke. It just needs to stop. And the ref's holding his hand up, going like this on his watch. You're like, you have a book you have a card in your pocket. Just use it.
Use it once, yeah.
You just have to use it once. You don't use it on the goalkeeper. Forget the goalkeeper because it's not going to do anything. Do it on one outfield player and just go, right, next. Anyone else?
It'll stop it, right?
And it'll just stop.
And I think this, by the way, goes across the league, not just against Arsenal.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying anything just against Arsenal. I'm just saying that the whole low block thing, the gimmick, is basically helped and supported by the people that are supposed to let the game flow. And they basically don't do it. They don't enforce their rulings. They literally just let them fall over, let them do whatever, just throwing themselves on the floor, and they get the time back. And all they do is play to the 85th minute, and then they start stepping it up. And they know that time that they've wasted, they're getting back.
Yeah.
Well, if they're losing, they shouldn't get it back.
No.
It should be like a chess clock. You know the chess clock where
you tap it down.
Yeah. You go right. You wasted that much time. You wasted that much time. You can have their time back, and you can have their time back. And that's the way it should roll, because it then punishes the team for actual time wasting.
Yeah.
But other than that, the only other way you can actually do it is by giving them yellow cards for actually doing the time wasting.
And I think that's what I would do. It's a much simpler way to do it, right? I mean, says the man that did the ultimate in Howdery yesterday, who I knew full well it wasn't my throw, so I picked the ball up and pretended to take the throw. Went to take the throw in.
Right, so you're just playing for time. Yeah, but I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
yeah, but
100%.
that's just normal everyday stuff, isn't it? I mean, if you do that every time,
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I can get away with
or
it
even
once.
twice,
Yeah,
then you go, you get the warning finger, didn't you?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
All right, clever. Don't do it again.
yeah,
And next time you're getting a card.
yep.
But it's when players have done like 2 and 3 fouls, and then they're coming up warning you,
Yeah,
and inside the box as well, with all this grappling and holding and all that lot. You don't have to get involved with every corner. You literally get in there and go, next time I see you do it, it's a booking. It's simple. It's so simple. You're supposed to be promoting entertainment, and when it's convenient for you, you enforce it, and when it's not convenient for you, you don't. And I don't really understand, because I've noticed this quite a lot with some people. Basically say there's a big six bias, but it doesn't always go in favor of a big six, in my opinion, anyway. So it doesn't matter which one it is, but there's some that get the rub of the green every time, and some that don't quite, they don't really care.
I think, one of the arguments behind this Big Six thing is they get more fouls per game, they get more penalties. Well, they have more of the ball, generally speaking, which is where they get more.
You're trying to get the ball off them. So
Yeah.
What do you expect? They're more skillful. They're better quality. So it's harder to get the ball off them.
The metric has to be who has been, most effective. And of course, this is a flawed stat in some ways, but it's a stat that basically says if the decision had been the correct one, what would the result of the game be and how many points you? Now it's flawed because of course the game changes with the goal and what have you. But if you take that, Wolves were the most affected last season by poor decisions. We were the next most,
Yeah,
I'm not saying that, but that gives you a better metric of actually.
Again, I'm not saying for that individual game, and I don't think we were necessarily harshly treated by the decision making. I just thought that in the aid of kind of making the game flow, I think more effort could have been put in.
No, I agree with you, and I've just realised the irony of the fact I've just said last season the most effective team was Wolves, and then we were the next most, and of course that's the game we're discussing. But actually, you look over that I think is a way of going. Is there about Big Six bias? I just don't think there is. They will get more of them, but I think it is something the league needs to look at, and I think you can referee it in a way that doesn't actually necessarily mean you have to stop and start the game all the time.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, because it just it's already slow and languid playing that way in the first place. The official doesn't have to help them.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm saying. You can't get momentum up as it is because everything's stop-start and players throwing himself on the ground or whatever. And I'm not saying that we don't do that. I'm not saying that either. I'm just saying that more effort needs to be put in to when that staunch rear guard effort is put in for the refs to go, okay, right, we see what's going on here. We're gonna let something flow.
But you've also got that thing as well with it, with the examples you're citing. We've already stopped the game at that point anyway, for pushing in a corner, or you've stopped it for a free kick, for what have you,
Right, so you're slowing the game down.
But what I'm saying is you can go up to them and go, I'm not having it anymore. You've already stopped the game, and you do that, as you say, once or twice, and suddenly you stop it, and the rest of it speeds up. So you might slow down those first two using your example, and might cost you an extra minute in those first 20 minutes of the game, but you're probably getting back 3, 4, 5 minutes by doing that in the rest of the game. Once you get a reputation of referee for doing that, you'll notice in 3, 4 games time that they don't even bother.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think that there was enough added time on certainly the first half. Not that I wanted any extra time, because
I was going to
say, it was terrible anyway. But where they got the 4 minutes from, I think the keeper wasted 4 minutes on his own.
On his own, yeah.
But But again, that doesn't take anything away from the crap performance that it was. I've literally got. I wanted to see what you were going to say first, but I've literally got player arrogance and complacency is what I wrote down.
Complacency, I think, is the right word. Is what I was talking about there with the mentality
Yeah. So
aspect.
I just wanted to see where you were going to go, and then before I kind of led you down the path, sort of thing. So it was like yeah. But yeah, a lot of it is I've seen a lot of the comparison between Man United and our game. And one thing I will say is thank you, Man United, because you conceded in your game. So at least it wasn't 7 games without them scoring, and then they scored against us, because we definitely never hear the end of that.
No.
So at least you took that little record from us. So it's like, well, yeah, yeah. So I don't
Actually
really
heard,
mind that too much.
speaking of United, I heard someone today on the radio announce that they thought Manchester United were well in the title race and were amongst the favourites for it.
On the radio?
Yes.
Was this pirate radio?
No, I mean it might as well be. It was Talk Sport. I saw a clip of it.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just clickbait, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah,
was that a fan or was that
it was a
somebody
it was a
else?
fan. It was a fan. Yeah.
I mean, I
was-
think they set these things up.
Oh, they must do, mustn't they? I mean,
They
I only
have to
saw it
set
because
these things up.
I was scrolling through something on the train home, and I was like, "Sorry, what?" And I actually went back, so it did work. I was like,
They have to set it up.
yeah, I was like, "This cannot
That
be
can't
real."
be real.
Yeah,
That can't be real. I mean, yeah.
I mean, no one can think, because they're 10 points off and they scored 4 against Bournemouth and 4 against Wolves, that they're in the title race.
Yeah, I mean, they look better though, don't they? I mean, I think
Yeah.
they look a lot better than they did. But I did see a United fan basically going, "Oh yeah, well that's what I want to see. I want to see attacking football. I want to see, us going for it and whatever." And I was just like, "Yeah, I can kind of see that." But isn't that a very Tottenham thing to say?
Well, it's interesting there because I was just thinking this, and I think Tottenham and Manchester United are a really good comparison right now. Manchester United have a load of issues, and in some ways, I'm a little bit critical of their summer window because they went all out for their attackers in the summer, and I thought they were a little bit samey, to be honest. But forget that they went, and invested in the attack and didn't really. I know they bought a goalkeeper in, but didn't invest anywhere else in the team. I thought, well, you've got problems with the system you play in defence because they don't quite fit, and you've got problems in midfield, and you've kind of ignored that, and you ignore the goalkeeper till very late. But actually, you can look at it another way as well, which is United know they're 2, 3, 4 years off, right? They're going to have to go through an Arsenal process, right? To get to where they
Do you
want to
think
go.
they're that close?
Well, I'm talking best case scenario, everything goes well.
Hypothetically,
Yeah, hypothetically. I think they're probably longer than that because I think well, if everything goes perfectly, that's kind of their scenario where they're back competing in 3 years' time, but everything's going to have to go right, and that's a hard thing to do.
The only reason I ask that is because they haven't started yet, in my opinion.
I think this summer was the start of it.
Yeah, but they haven't cleared out as such, have they? They've kind of just brought in on top of Dross.
Yes, yeah, exactly. So that, but
they haven't done a clear out. That's the only reason I say that.
I think that's a fair point to make. But I think I have started it because I think they invested a lot of money in those attackers over the summer. But I think from a United perspective, then you kind of know you're not winning the league this season. You might get lucky and you might win a cup. You might have a good run. But actually, if you know you're not winning it this season, and you're okay with that, because I think was not okay with it, but you know what I mean. You know it's not going to happen, so you can't really expect it to happen. A bit like us a few years ago, right? We're not happy we didn't win things, but the expectation wasn't there when you looked at the squad. I think that's where United are. You might as well go and say, do you know what? We've invested in the attack. Let's at least go and watch us attack. Let's at least enjoy us watching attack. We know we're not going to be able to defend this season, but let's at least enjoy us watching go. Tottenham have sort of tried to do it the other way around. Really, they've tried to become a little bit better defensively under Frank and probably gone a little bit too far the other way because they actually do have some decent attackers. They need significant improvement, particularly I think as a number 9. But he's tried to make him defensive, and he looks like he's going to try in his rebuild, which may or may not get much longer from the back. And it's quite interesting that United are going front to back and Tottenham going back to front. There are ways to sort of do it and work on those sort of priority areas. We did it back to front, and so I kind of get what that United fans saying because they know they're not going to win the league, so you might as well enjoy the attacking football. But equally, that's if you asked him in 2-3 years' time, is that still all you want? I think you'll get a different answer, which is I might like us playing attacking football, but it's been 3-4 years of this particular build, and we're nowhere still. If that assumes they stand still, I think you'd get but my point being, you get a different.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to stand still, but I just don't think from. I mean, they make money, so that's an advantage they have over where we were because we kind of stagnated financially as well. Because of where we were put, and the commercial deals were just nowhere.
Yeah,
it's
United's commercial deals are no one's on that level in England, I don't think.
Yeah, so I think now that they're a lot better than they were, but I think that's purely because of the performance on the pitch. I don't think that's anything from anywhere else. But we're not touching what they make anyway.
No,
but if they keep outside of Europe, which they need to get some kind of Europe, don't they?
They do. I think they will. By the way, especially as they got a week to prepare for every game.
Yeah, I mean the FA Cup's starting, isn't it? So they've got the FA Cup, so they're going to have to concentrate on that, I guess.
Yeah, I don't think they can go out in the third round of that one. I can't remember who they've got now, but that given the season they've had would not be a good thing for them in terms of going out.
Villa.
I'll have a look.
I'm going to look now. I don't know why I think it's Villa.
I've got Man City.
Brighton.
Brighton, yeah, I've just found it's 4:30 on the Sunday.
Yeah, so that's at home. So, I mean, winnable, but yeah.
But not easy.
So, yeah, it's not a gimme, is it? Not like Man City getting Exeter. I don't know how they do it. Every year they seem to get a massive, a good cup draw.
I mean, at least we got lower division opposition, but yeah, it's not a gimme against Portsmouth, but you'd expect to be winning it.
I mean, even still, Chelsea got Cardiff, didn't they, in the League Cup, and you just like,
which is not going well for them at the moment.
It's not going well at the moment, but they've just changed. They brought Pedro on and Garnacho, so they haven't. He rotated the whole 11. Though that rotation consisted of Caicedo as well because
he was suspended.
He was suspended for 3 games anyway, so he's come back into it. So yeah, but yeah, he's obviously made 2 subs. I think that's the only 2 he's made. But yeah,
just the 2 subs so far.
Yeah, they don't look miles off each other. Let's go with that. It's a bit mad.
Well, Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank said at half time that he's struggling to work out which one was the Premier League side.
Oh, is that what he said? I haven't got the sound on, so I didn't.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was him. Someone said it. I'm pretty sure
it was him in the studio. I just didn't have.
I just saw it written down, so I'm trying to remember who said it.
Right, okay. I saw he was in the studio, but I didn't see. Obviously, I haven't seen the comments and such like. But yeah, there we go. As we're on the League Cup, where do you think we are with the League Cup? Do you think we go on to win that, or do you think we just rotate with it? What's your thoughts on that?
I think for the Palace game, there's going to have to be an element of rotation, because I think the games are going to come thick and fast again over the Christmas period. I think at some point over these next 4 weeks, Jurgen Timber is going to have to get a rest. Palace, I'm not trying to underestimate them, but that might be one where you look at an option. And I think Calafiori is probably my prime candidate to move across to right back. It's not ideal. He's left-footed, but I'm looking at it. It's him or Norgard, really. with the options left, to come in, which is not ideal.
Salmon do right back.
You could go Marley Salmon. Yeah, that might be an option. 15-year-old.
I think
I think
Salmon
if
could do it.
yeah, I think I'd use Salmon sort of 20 minutes or so at the end just to, rather than a starter. I think given he is,
Yeah,
16 or whatever he is, but yeah, that is another option. I didn't sort of discuss him when I was talking about it, but I think there'll be an element of rotation, but that'll be a strong side. For
yeah.
instance, you might say, let's say Trossard and Saka are the starting wingers right now. You wouldn't be shocked to see, one of them rotated out, for
I
instance.
think both probably Madueke and Martinelli, wouldn't it?
Well, I was going to say, but I'm sort of using it
Or even
illustratively.
Ranieri.
And you might sort of see one of, say, Odegaard, Rice, or Zubimendi rested, and you might see,
Mm.
one other change, Timber come out, 3 changes, maybe 4, but, it'll still be a very strong side. You're not going to see Dalman's injured, but you're not going to see Dalman, Wanieri,
Mm.
Salmon, Norgard. You're not going to sort of see that
Yeah,
sort of
I'm
thing.
just saying you might end up seeing one of them. That's all I'm thinking.
Yeah,
Because
possibly.
obviously, with Mosquera being out, Saliba's only just come back. Gabriel will only come back probably early January as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure I buy this talk of him being fit for the Everton game.
No, I think it was some kind of hoax,
It's got to be right.
opium type thing. Yeah, so
Clickbaity type thing. But I think, to your question, I think Arsenal will go strong for that one. And I think, they're fancy their chances against Palace next week. And I would expect to see Chelsea, Manchester City, is it Newcastle, and Arsenal be the 4 sort of finalists. I think that's
yeah,
probably what I'd expect to
I
see.
actually think Palace are going to rotate as well
Well, I
because
think they're
they
what, 4
have to
games in 10
really.
days.
Is it four in 12? Is it?
Let me have a look at
Look at
Palace.
that now.
Yeah.
It's a heavy schedule. I know that much.
It's
Because
whether they're sort of through, already. I can't quite remember. They played Saturday, didn't they? No, they played Sunday. So Sunday, Thursday, Saturday, Tuesday. So yeah, it's 4 in 10. But they
okay,
play.
I mean that's a lot for anybody. But so what? One of those
But
is a
then,
European tie.
yeah, but they're not through. Yeah, I mean they're through in terms of the top 24, but they're not through in the top 8. So they may well be trying to get in that top 8,
Yeah,
with the hope of missing, getting the bye.
yeah. You eliminating the 2 games, but then if they think that they're going to do that no matter what, then maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe, but yeah, I kind of expect us to. Well, Chelsea just had a shot on target. Garnacho, keeper saved it. What is that bum fluff he's got in his face? It's one of those. He doesn't need to have a shave. He just needs the wind to blow a bit, and then it's
Like a
gone.
15-year-old.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it wasn't very powerful, but he was on target, I suppose. Yeah, I did see people on here on the internet basically whining because they'd done a full on rotation. You're like, you can't beat Cardiff with a full on rotation, mate. There's something wrong with you.
Well, I think Chelsea obviously have gone from being, we're going to be Premier League champions as well as champions of the world, after the draw against Arsenal. They've fallen off a little bit, which I don't think is a surprise because I think, they sort of a little bit inexperienced still. But I think that has impacted it. But I think one of the big things you're seeing with Chelsea is they're seeing quite a bit of rotation with them, but I think that's affecting their chemistry as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's too
And
much rotation for me. You can't just rotate everything at the back every single game for me. And
I agree.
I think he's just got used to it with last season with the Conference League.
With the conference, yeah.
And he's kind of stuck to the same routine, and I just think it's a bit too much.
Yeah.
It kind of getting a bit of a Tinkerman tag, where you can't score. Surely he hasn't. Shocking shot.
It's the irony, isn't it, that actually Arsenal have rotated, I think, probably generally speaking, quite well this season. I think there's legitimate things to talk about in previous seasons, but I think legitimately this season, and even then, I think the squad wasn't really there because you're not dropping Saliba because Holding comes in. Arsenal, like Chelsea, are now at a point where you're making like for like. I just think our quality is a little bit more than theirs, generally speaking. But
yeah, I think the drop off is massive, isn't it? In previous years, it was massive. Where the drop off isn't quite so much.
Exactly.
Obviously, with the injuries, it's hurting the squad. So that basically the floor's dropped because the starting level isn't the same. So
and the options have dropped for who you can rotate. But I think generally speaking, Arsenal have done a decent job on rotating this season, to be honest with you. Ben White, I think, is, one where we've got to look at that and go, actually, that was one where we should have rotated. But, generally speaking, I think, most of our injuries, not most, but a significant portion of our injuries have been contact. And I think the rotation has been about right, and I think you're exactly right. Arsenal, don't rotate enough. And then you get the opposite, which is Chelsea rotate too much. And, I actually don't agree with the Arsenal rotation stuff this season, to be honest with you. But you see the effects of, we've got fans calling for, well, you make 6 changes every game. Well, Chelsea are making 6 changes every game, and they are struggling as a result.
They're doing 10 and 11 though.
Well, they're doing exactly. But I mean, on average, they're doing 6, maybe 7. But it shows that you can't just do that. It's not FIFA. It's not Football Manager.
Yeah.
And I do think it's affecting Chelsea, that over rotation, because it does lack that chemistry.
Yeah, no, I agree, especially with the back line. I think the back line is something you've just got to try and stick it together. You've only got to look at Man City, haven't you? Because they've managed to have a run of games with the same back line, and just backed off. Chelsea 1-0.
Oh, damn it.
Garnacho. Yeah, the defender just backed off. And whatever. You scored against Cardiff, mate. Come on, man.
He's just about to score. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, he did that sit on the wall celebration. You're like, yeah, mate, come on. Yeah, you should be winning that.
Right, looks like
massive error as well. He just passed it straight to him. And then backed off. At least go and try and win it back. Jesus. But
that probably will be that then.
Yeah, probably. North London forever. Evening. How are we, sir? How are we? Welcome in. Guys, if you're in here, please make sure you're hitting the like and the subscribe and sharing the live as well. Very much appreciated. And get involved with the chat as well. Yes. So yeah, I'm kind of all right with the rotation. I do think that there's been odd bits that could have been better. I mean, a lot of it, a couple of moments, maybe hindsight is prevalent. But yeah, I've probably done things slightly differently, but
I think that's always the way. I mean, I would agree with you. Everyone will go, actually, in this game, I would have played so and so plays, and there's always elements where you're exactly right. You get that moment where you're like, actually, yeah, I would have done that, and we should have done that. But I think, as a general rule, I don't think the rotation's been a big issue for us this season. I think it's
I do think that although we're all kind of praying for Calafiori to get the yellow card in the previous game, so he couldn't, so he had to serve it at Wolves. It actually worked against us really, because if he hadn't got that yellow card,
Ben White
wouldn't be injured now. But what can you do? So it just means that he'd have to miss another game, wouldn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And it is something that Calafiori, I think he's been quite good this season.
Yeah.
And I've always actually, he is naturally a centre back, but I understood fully why Arsenal signed him to be that left back, because Arsenal like that sort of player, big strong player there, but also someone that can cause a bit of chaos and get forward well. And Calafiori does it brilliantly. But he does, the big criticism I'd have of him this season is he's getting booked far too often. And that is something he needs to control, because Arsenal's discipline has been good this season. But when
I agree with you. But I think every time he's done it, he's like taken one for the team more or less.
He is, and it is an area of Arsenal tactically where we leave the most space because that's where we want to try and get forward the most. So it does leave us most
Yeah,
exposed there.
most of them are like the cynical, wrap your arm around and just kind of spoil a little bit. Yeah, I don't mind that too much, to be honest with you. I think you're going to get that no matter what. But yeah, I get what you're saying. But he's that kind of player anyway. He's quite erratic, isn't he? So it's
Yes. You get the good and the bad as a result, don't you? Which
yeah,
is, the good being that you get the sort of unpredictability, which makes it harder for the other team to know what he's going to do. The
mm,
downside is you get that unpredictability, which means he can sometimes get caught out and therefore has to make that foul. But it is also a tactical thing with Arsenal that
yeah.
whatever
I
system
also
you play, there's going to be an element of weakness in it, whatever you do.
yeah, I also think that Lewis Skelly could have played a bit more to actually keep him up with the tempo of our play, if you like.
Yes, I agree.
Because I think he's starting from fresh rather than starting from an area of he's ready and he's only got to get involved in this particular game. It's almost like he's got to start from nothing. It's like a start from zero game. So I think I prefer a little bit more of game time on that point of view, even if it was like the last 5 minutes or something.
Yeah, I think he's struggled somewhat this season. And I think it's partly an inevitability of how good he was last season, and at his age, you're not necessarily going to maintain it.
Yeah,
More often than often they don't. But I think there's also an element there of actually you do need some rhythm, and he's not had that rhythm.
yeah. I mean, yeah, we can all understand why we haven't had the rhythm at centre back, but yeah, at full back, I don't think there's really any excuse for it.
No,
More,
I mean I was shocked to see him not start on Saturday.
yeah. But well, especially as you started White, I mean, yeah, surely Timber needed a rest, but yeah, obviously not. Maybe he thought
Yeah, I
that
wouldn't
he
have
got
starting both was odd.
yeah. It's more like yeah, I would call that out. I don't think that needed to happen. I think Timber on the right and Lewis Skelly on the left would have been the move.
Yeah, I think so. It's as I said earlier, it's a bit of the press conference I disagreed with. I mean, I had Ben White
Mm.
starting, to be honest, but that's because I didn't have Saliba starting.
Yeah.
I didn't think I thought if you've got any doubts about Saliba, you maybe play him. Did I have him starting? I can't remember now. But at most I had him starting 60 minutes. I think I had one of Timber Saliba missing out. I can't remember which way around it was because I did have Ben
Mm.
White starting, but with hindsight, you look at it and go, actually, do you know what? That was a daft decision.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree, especially with like you say with Saliba in there as well. But it looks like he's back anyway. It's not like he was rushed in or anything like that. So it looks like he's back.
That's certainly
Have it.
been an improvement for us this season, by the way, is not rushing players back.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing I was going to say. Havertz is there or thereabouts, but he's not. He's not full training, I don't believe.
No.
Um,
There's talk of him being back this month, but no, but this
yeah,
month is a
so,
long time.
yeah, exactly. Same with Gabriel, I believe. And go on, who's the other one? Mosquera.
Mascara's going to be January.
Yeah, well, I think they're all going to be January or thereabouts.
Well, sorry, what I mean by
January.
I think he's a few weeks behind the other two is what I was sort of
I
meaning.
don't know. I mean, there was never really any reference of what kind of grade it was.
No,
So,
it wasn't.
yeah, we
It's
kind of
it's a
just
gut feeling rather than anything else.
yeah. But
But speaking of players coming back from injury, I've heard a lot of talk, people sort of saying Gabriel Jesus needs to start next game because Gyökeres is out of form. I'm not of that mind, but what's your views on that one?
I think just the fact that Jesus is prepared and he's ready to go anyway. I think that's a kick up the backside that any player needs anyway. He just knows there's somebody that's on his coattails, and it just puts that little bit of pressure on. So I think as a striker, you get that anyway, and I think as any starting player, you'd have that, and you just go, "Oh, so and so's back." Yeah, I've got to make sure I'm up to it. But I heard as well that they're drilling Erdegaard to play the ball to Gyökeres. Again, don't know how true that is. But But if it is true, not really sure why it's only just starting.
Yeah, I mean, I think, for me, I start Gyökeres against Everton. I nearly said Palace. Because I think we're talking about rushing players back. I'd be really worried about Jesus having just come back from injury going and starting the game. I think seeing Measley in over 10, 15, 20 minutes a game
Yeah.
is the right thing to do, and he's a really good option to have off the bench. But I think, you know, I think there will be a lot of drilling going on this week. I think we'll pick our back four, and they will be the back four, in all the training drills this week, because it's a chemistry issue. We're conceding these late goals because it's chemistry, because they're enforced changes, generally speaking, at the back. I'm not
Yeah,
worried. I'm not
there
worried.
was already a change inside the game, obviously, because White came off as well. So
Yeah.
it was like, well, Nkapie had already done like 2 positions and that as well. So it's like, well, okay, you can kind of understand a bit of rustiness and whatever, but I think as a team, the defending for that goal was just
Awful.
not it was just not on.
No, I mean, Rice didn't get out. Saka didn't get out. There was no pressure on that ball at all.
There was nothing. They just literally just stood there and let them come at them. Just nothing. I was screaming at the TV, but it was like
everyone was screaming, weren't they? But
yeah,
well, actually, I wasn't actually, because I actually missed the goal. I literally just nipped out to get something, and I literally came back, and my son's going, "It's 1-1." I was like, and I was almost literally like, "Yeah, very funny." I was like,
yeah,
but
I'm not joking.
well, he's a
That's
City fan,
it.
Man City fan, so I thought, he's winding me up.
Yeah,
But yeah, so I think that's what we'll do defensively. But I think attacking wise, I think a lot of the drill this week will be getting that ball forward. Part of the reason why I'm not prepared to give up on Victor Gyökeres like some, and why I think Gyökeres isn't a flop yet, is because I always thought there would be an adaptation period. I thought it'd be quicker, to be fair, but I think that's also partly because he got injured. But he was starting to find that form, and we were starting to look like we worked out how to play with him. Burnley, Olympiacos, they're the sort of 2 games which kind of stand out. And I know they're not top opponents, but you started to see Arsenal work out a way. And by the way, both, Olympiacos played a bit of a high line, but Burnley was still sat in a little bit. So there was still an element of low block there. And we started to look like we'd worked out how to play to him. We were getting that ball quickly to him from Zubimendi, and it wouldn't have been Odegaard. I think he'd have been injured at the time. So it would probably been Eza. Was doing it, but either way, we're getting the ball forward much quicker to him. But I think that is got to be what is part of the focus this week, is get that ball into it. And by the way, Victor Gyökeres, if I see you once not running into that penalty area on any of these drills, 1980s, but go and do some laps, I'm obviously messing around, but you know what I mean? I think that will be very much the sort of drill this week. Obviously, it's not going to be that, that regimented, old school stuff, but that's what I think Arsenal will be concentrating on this week, is basically the point I'm making.
Yeah, I just don't understand why we haven't been doing those drills already. If that's the case, that's the only thing.
Well, I was just thinking about that as you were saying it. There's 2 things. One, who says we haven't? Because it could well be that it could well be it's coming out now because people are starting to talk about it, because Arsenal haven't been on the form they've been in recently. So we may have been, but secondly, we haven't actually trained that much because we've been playing Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday, Wednesday.
I appreciate that, but again, it's just a message, isn't it?
It's a message. Exactly.
You don't actually have to do a training session with it. You can literally just go, right, I want you to get the ball. He's your target man. Get the ball to him. Quicker. And you focus on that. But the fact that Martinelli, when he didn't even give the eyes with that shot, either he's not taking that kind of motivation, or they haven't been doing that drill.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you're exactly right. Instruction needs to be there, right? And I'm sure, and I think it probably hasn't been, to be fair, because we've not seen it at all. And we saw how irritated Mikel Arteta got on Saturday. I'm just using Saturday as an example, but we see it quite regularly when they're not doing what he wants them to do. And you'd have thought if they're not getting it to him quickly enough and he's told them to, you'd see that reaction. So I think that is absolutely right.
Yeah. So Daniel says, how you doing, gents? Welcome in, Daniel. Nice to see you, mate. Guys, if you're in here, please make sure you hit the like and the subscribe and sharing out the live. We'll be here for another half an hour or something. But Mosquera is 6 to 8 weeks away from the Brentford match. Hopefully, Leo is fit to start. I think Leo trained.
Yeah.
I seem to remember the post. Not entirely sure. There was somebody not in training, but it wasn't anything fitness based. Apparently, it might have been Leo.
He picked up a little knock, didn't he?
Yeah, it was a little
Villa.
five knock, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's why he only played a bit part in the next game, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, in the Bruges game.
Bruges game.
Bruges
Thank you.
game? Yeah.
I was. Do you know that's how tired I was. I was like, who the hell did we play after Villa? Complete utter mind blank.
It was a Bruges game, and it come on, just did a bit, and then went off again, wasn't it?
Exactly.
Arteta will got one Gyökeres to get some form, absolutely. And the thing is, as well, thank you. It was a Mendy. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know why he was training indoors. What?
It was workload management. That was the official explanation.
Right. Okay. So he's not doing fitness stuff. Okay. Fine. That makes sense. So
I remember it now. I couldn't have, a minute ago. I couldn't have told you to save my life which player it was. It was training away from the group because I couldn't.
No, I remember seeing it and just not remembering who it was.
No, I did too. And then suddenly, when it was put in by Daniel, there was it. In the chat, it was Zubimendi. I was like, yes, it was Zubimendi, and it was managing the load.
Yeah. So he's basically trying to do some bulk up, I guess. But yeah, what do you have in mind for the Everton game? Obviously, we got a week off for the first time in
since August.
Since August, isn't it?
Yeah, since August. Yeah.
Now, granted, we've obviously had international breaks, but a lot of our players are internationals as well.
Yep.
And some players decide they're going to play no matter what.
Yes, but we should withdraw them 100%. Let's ignore the FIFA rule.
Yeah, the problem is with that is you get some bad kind of association with the football associations, didn't you? So
exactly. I mean, I was joking. The rule is really clear. Unless a player withdraws or the national side agrees to withdraw them, you can't.
Yeah.
Calafiori of Italy was a prime example of anyone saying Arsenal don't engage with them. They clearly do. Calafiori, it was really important to the Italy manager who went out there because they, their qualification was
needed to qualify. Yeah,
they needed to qualify, but they recognised he wasn't fit enough. But still, he was seen as a key player in the group, so they wanted him there, but didn't play him because they'd been liaising with Arsenal. It shows you that Arsenal really do. Arsenal are furious about the decision to play Gabriel, which is Brazil's right, by the way. Arsenal cannot withdraw players. It all changed because of Ferguson used to do it all the time, and the FIFA rules changed. And it won't just have been Ferguson; he wasn't alone. But it's not that era anymore.
But that has to be on the player for me. That it's just like, well, if you do in a friendly, just because it's at Emirates or whatever.
Yeah, I think he's got to take some responsibility for it, Gabriel. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, so
unless you've been told by Ancelotti, if you don't play, you're out of the World Cup squad, and I can't believe Ancelotti's saying that.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Anyway, so back to the question. We digress. What do you actually expect from the Everton game?
Expect a reaction from Arsenal. I'd expect to see the tempo much higher, and I'd expect to see Arsenal much more aggressive. I think we'll see Arsenal fresher. They've had a week off. I think they will train this week, but it won't be high intensity, high workload.
They had 2 days off anyway, didn't they?
They went back. Sunday, Monday, they went back to training today. So I think they'll be well prepared, and I think rest will be a big focus on it, as well as just doing those sort of what we were saying earlier, little bit of chemistry, those sorts of drills, just to sort of get that together. And I think the week will do them good. I think they need the week. I don't think they needed to go straight back into action. Quite often, it's talking like we got a bad result. We still won the game. But when you've had a bad result, bad performance, mostly you want to get back out and correct it straight away. I actually think the week off this week would have done them some good. But I think I've heard people sort of talking about, well, you got to go to Everton and win it 4-5-0, haven't we? Make a statement. ideal world, that's what happened. I think you just need to go to Everton and win the game. David Moyes' sides are very pragmatic, well dug in, and will hit you on the counter. But
1-1.
get in. That is a right result. Go on,
It's
Carlos.
not a result yet. It's 50
No,
minutes
but I meant as in, yeah,
the result they've got to play.
yeah, as in result
Yeah.
is, really, really pleased. But you've got to do that. But they've been missing a couple of their key players because they've gone to AFCON. Grealish is a doubt, but I think Grealish will play.
Yeah, I think he just got knocked, didn't he? So
Yeah,
though in our squad, a knock means 4 games apparently. But
had a few days a month, which is technically correct because it was a matter of days. It's just
I know it was a matter of days, but it's a matter of a lot of days.
Yeah. So I think it's going to be difficult, and particularly under the lights. I think one of the advantages here might be this is one of, if not the biggest game under the lights for Everton since they moved to their new stadium. I can't think of another evening kickoff they've had.
Where was Liverpool then? Was that at Anfield?
I think it was at Everton, but I don't think it was evening kickoff, was it?
I don't know.
I can't remember now. Maybe it was, but either way, it's a big game under the lights.
Yeah.
And I think the Everton fans will be roaring them forward a little bit more because the atmosphere will be big. I don't think that should intimidate Arsenal. They've been to places like Real Madrid, St James's Park this season. Real Madrid was last season, obviously. Arsenal are used to those big atmospheres now, but that might actually help Arsenal if Everton do come out a little bit more because they get a bit carried away from the crowd. Kind of almost want that to an extent. But the idea that this is an easy game is just is rubbish in my view. Where Everton in the table, I mean, 1 defeat can send you tumbling, 1 win can send you miles. They're 9th in the table. They're 24 points from 16 games.
So in fairness, they were 4th last week.
Yeah. Well, it shows what I was saying. That you can tumble.
They'd lost a game, haven't they? And then
and tumbled 5 places.
And then dropped 5 places. Yeah. So it's very compact. I think it's going to sort itself out.
Yeah, it will. But 1.5 points a game, if you said that to Everton at the start of the season, that's what you're going to end up with. They'd have 110% taken 57 points this season.
Yeah, I mean, especially as pretty much everything over 2 points a game is essentially title form, isn't it?
It's 2.3, I think, roughly for the title, which would be about 90 points.
Yeah. So
it is 90 points. Well done. Yeah, that was good maths.
Yeah. So anything that can keep up with that. But what do you think of City? Are you afraid of City now? Where's your head at?
You can never discount City. They've got a really good manager and they've got a really good squad. I thought they'd finish 3rd at the start of the season because I thought Liverpool would finish 2nd.
Liverpool 3rd. Yeah.
But I never think they were going to be that far behind. Arsenal or Liverpool, but I had them 3rd. And I'm not going to rewrite history now. But I think they are going to be a threat. They are going to be there, and they are going to put pressure on. And they do know how to win a league. They've got all of that going for them. They've got some really good players in the likes of Haaland and Foden, Rodri. And they're getting points without Rodri, by the way, which is credit to them. And I think your point earlier about that stable back 4 is starting to make a difference. But I still just think, and I said it after the Leeds game where they won 3-2, it doesn't quite feel they're there for me this season. Arsenal for me is still favourites. I don't believe Arsenal bottled the league to those 2 City ones. I really don't. I think for that you have to be the firm favourites and have everything in place to bottle it. I think this is still Arsenal, not Arsenal to lose. I don't like that, but narrative necessarily. But I think Arsenal are the favourites here, and I think Arsenal are the biggest threat to Arsenal in many ways. Can they handle the pressure? And if they don't, City will pounce, and that's the fear. Yeah, but I just think defensively they're not quite solid enough, and I also think that midfield isn't quite right. And you saw City, and I know they were in a bad period. They came and sat in at the Emirates. That's not what City do. By the way, if Arsenal did that, that's a travesty, by the way. And I'm not criticising City for sticking in, but it's not what you tend to see from them. And fair play to them. They bloody nearly succeeded doing it, by the way. But the point being, it just doesn't quite feel like City of 2 seasons ago. I think they're a season off. But they are going to be the ones that will get there if Arsenal don't. 100%. And they should not be underestimated in any way, shape or form.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with what you said there. I mean, even though I predicted them 3rd, in the current standings, I would at least say that they were 2nd, but I don't think that's a large gap to 2nd. I
No,
just
I
think
don't think so.
I think it's a few points. I don't think there's any kind of fallacy that anybody's going to run away with anything, and it actually could be. It could be settled at the Etihad, couldn't it?
It could be, and I think, the point you just made there about, no one's going to run away with it. I think we were discussing it at the time when Arsenal were top of the league, and 7 points clear, but they weren't going to run away with it. And again, this narrative at the moment that Arsenal are crumbling. The gap's down. Yeah, you're right. The gap is down, but I never expected it to sort of stay that way
Yeah,
because the league's too good.
yeah, exactly. So anybody can beat anybody, but yeah, the one thing that I do kind of take on board this season, it's like the hard games for us are the hard games for them.
Yes.
Where other seasons, it's like, oh, Everton away, well, they're just going to walk it, or is it Sunderland or whatever? They're just going to. I think they play Sunderland New Year's Day.
Yeah, they've got Sunderland sort of a bit like we've got Villa, not back to back, but very close together. There's always that one fixture.
They're the 19th team, aren't they?
Yeah, it's like you
Essentially.
played in week 13, 14 and play them again week 19.
Yeah. So it's basically the 19th fixture or whatever it is, but yeah, where you'd look at it and go, well, I don't see you dropping points there. If I see us dropping points there, I see them dropping points there as well.
I think they beat Sunderland because they're going to lose so many players to AFCON. But but your point is exactly right.
Players, I think, yeah, but again,
right. We play in a very similar way. So they struggle against Brighton. Well, so do we.
It's 2-1 now.
Oh bugger,
Chelsea.
Yeah, I figured. I could tell by your tone. I'm about a minute behind on the feed to you.
What is he doing, man? I mean, you should be beating them. One thing I will say, right, is people have a go at us for our celebrations and stuff. What's that?
You just got to get off the pitch and you walk down the tunnel. That's what you got to do. But I love it. Absolutely love it when Klopp runs down the sidelines. All right, there, Jamie.
yeah, Carragher going, yeah, I'd love to see it. Oh, that's a beauty of the game and this, that, and the other. Yeah, so do we, Jamie. But it's funny when we're not allowed to do it. But yeah, I mean, it's a good finish. But it's Cardiff, man. My God, I hope they equalise again. Oh, that is so funny, man. Jesus. Wow. But yeah, I agree with you. I think that I think it's going to be quite tight, and I think it's just going to be a matter of the space in the fixtures, to where the harder runs are, and peaks and troughs in it.
Yeah, it's always peaks and troughs for me. I think, that's exactly what you'd expect in a season. It's why I'm not panicking about this little dip from us, because I think it's just that. Yes, you want to fix it as quickly as possible, and yes, you need to get out of it. That is absolutely right and correct. But at the same time, I genuinely think it's just a normal thing that happens in most seasons. I really do.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. Anyway, we're kind of getting to the business end. So we're on match week 17. So
I thought you meant the show.
No, we're not going that long. Definitely not going that long.
No, I'm in the business end.
Well, they are the business end, I guess. But yeah. Let's do some predictions for the upcoming matches. So Newcastle against Chelsea.
So I'm just putting lunchtime kickoff, St James's.
It is.
Newcastle are really hard to predict this season, aren't they? It could be anything. I'm going to go 1-1.
I'm actually going to look at what their home form is, to be honest. Because You going a 1-1?
Then 1-1, yeah. Because Chelsea have rested everyone tonight. I think I'd be more shocked with a Newcastle win than a Chelsea win, even though Newcastle are home and a decent side.
Newcastle play tomorrow as well, don't they?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I'd be more shocked with a Newcastle win, even though they're home, because they got one day less, and Chelsea have rotated tonight. It looks like they might squeak through, but
yeah, full on rotated. Yeah, at home they're 6th in the table. Newcastle 15th away, so
yeah, away from it's costing them.
Yeah, shocking, aren't they? That's not what I want to do. But yeah, that's not ideal. I will go. I got 2-1 Chelsea.
Yeah, I wouldn't be stunned by that at all. You know, the more I was talking, the more I was talking myself out of my prediction. To be honest, but I'll stick with it. I'll stick with the 1-1. But you know,
fair enough. Bournemouth against Burnley, 3:00 kickoff.
Bournemouth are going to score 6, concede 5.
I mean that game that we watched last night it was ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. It was just like it's like watching Wenger all over again.
I was on a show live, and I was again like tonight a minute behind. But yeah, it was I was sort of hearing people say another goal and then another goal. I was like, no, this is no way.
It was just madness. It was like literally just everybody forgot how to defend.
It was nearly winners at the end and all sorts.
Yeah, it was odd. It was an odd game.
It was really odd. So in all seriousness, I think 3-1 Bournemouth.
I got 3-0. I don't see Burnley scoring, to be honest.
Oh, I don't know. Bournemouth can't defend. I mean, no surprise. We were talking about it a few weeks ago how many of their back 5 they lost last year, including the goalkeeper. But they do struggle to defend.
I bet they learn to defend when they're playing us. I bet they learn then. Brighton against Sunderland, 3:00.
I think Sunderland will lose this one 2-0. Not that Brighton are playing brilliantly at the moment.
No, they're not. I think it'd be a 2-2, to be honest.
I'm just sort of looking at the AFCON effect. I'll have a better sense on Sunderland once they played a couple of games with this AFCON, with the players out for AFCON.
So they've gone now, haven't they?
They've gone, yeah.
So yeah, they went on the 5th. Yesterday.
Yesterday, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, maybe. I mean, they did buy quite a lot of players, to be fair. So it's not just those particular players that they have, but yeah, it could be a problem.
Yeah, you're exactly right. But they did buy a lot of players, but they also a lot of them have been not all of them that they've lost, but a lot of them have been playing quite significant minutes. So it'd be interesting to see how that goes. But they've got the higher numbers there to cope with them. But what's the quality going to be like?
Quality,
and that disruption, that chemistry we were talking about with Chelsea earlier.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, they've still got Ballard. Ballard and Xhaka, so they'll be all right. Man City West Ham is also 3:00.
I mean, West Ham have improved a lot recently. I was gutted they didn't get anything at the weekend, but I mean, there's nothing else I can do other than predict a City win and 3-0.
Yeah, I'd love to do the shameless thing and just to predict a draw or loss. Like I see it on the thing all the time. Also going to be 1-1 and we're going to win 3-0 and all this lot. I'm not doing that. So yeah, I think West Ham might score. So I think a 3-1. I'll go with 3-1.
Yeah, I mean West Ham I think will survive. By the way, this season I think Nuno will keep them up.
But this just scrape it. I think they've done it at the right time, haven't they?
Yeah, exactly. But I just can't see them getting something here. I just can't.
No,
if they were at home to City, maybe, but not away from home.
Yeah, and I think that the league is quite tight anyway, so they're only 3 points off Leeds, and then there's another 2 points off Nottingham Forest, 2 points again that get off Brentford. and then Fulham. So if they don't get anything in this period, then they're in trouble. But if they can get out of the December stroke January fixtures with like
within touching distance of
yeah,
Leeds.
4 or 5 points, I think
No more than 5. Yeah, I agree.
then they're all right, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
Especially since Leeds are playing Crystal Palace, and I expect them to beat them. So yeah, Wolves Brentford.
It's going to be interesting, isn't it? Because I was just thinking about this one. What's the reaction from Wolves? Is it, yes, we can look at what we can do, or is it, oh God, it's just never going to happen for us? You know, and I think the first 20 minutes in that game will be telling to how Wolves react. I am actually going to, I think Brentford have done really well, surprised people this season, but I'm going to go 1-1 in this game. I think Wolves will get their 3rd point of the season.
Yeah, I think it's a good time to play Brentford. To be honest, I think that they've not exactly
stalled
pulled
a
any
little
trees.
bit.
Yeah, so yeah, I think that there's something for Wolves.
Yeah, it was just 1 point in the last 3 for Brentford, which is, you know, more than Wolves and Burnley. But
yeah, but this one, if they choose to go gung ho, and kind of have a bit of buoyancy from the Arsenal game, they could get battered as well.
yeah, I was just going to say that what they can't do is go, oh look, we're amazing
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, because
You're never amazing. Try and do what they did against United.
yeah, the thing is, their strikers aren't all that either. So I think that yeah, although they had the one shot and one goal against us, I don't think that that's any kind of reflection. I think it was a little bit fortunate. They kind of rode their luck a little bit and come to that. I'm gonna go 3-1 Brentford, to be honest.
Yeah,
purely because I think that they might have to open up and might have to go for it.
If I'm Wolves, I'd do exactly what you did against Arsenal. Just do that.
They're not going to do that though.
No, I think that's a fear, which is why I was sort of talking about that first 20 minutes being crucial.
Yeah, they're never going to do that. They should do that, in my opinion, but I don't think he's got the. I don't think he's got the know-how to basically go, this is the one, this is what we need to do. He kind of picks the wrong battles, maybe.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I'm not saying that he wasn't right to do what he did against us. I'm not saying that at all. But I'm just saying that he could have done that against Man United, and he would, in my opinion, have another point at least.
Yeah, I agree.
Tottenham Hotspur against Liverpool. It's the 5:30 kickoff.
You know, I've just reflected on these fixtures, and I hate doing predictions. Always, but again, it's another really hard one. And Thomas Frank, by all accounts, starting to come under serious pressure at Tottenham now. I don't know how true the rumours are, but they're coming from fairly reliable sources. The BBC sort of reporting on it too, and I think that would be premature and a little bit daft of Spurs, in my view. You know, I think they just have to have a plan and stick to it and give
I
it
agree.
a little bit of time. But equally, you can kind of see it because how many times this season we've seen the players disrespect the manager in public? And when that happens, it starts to become a problem. And I think that's on the players as much as anything else there. But Thomas Frank now under pressure. Does he rally them for a really good performance against Liverpool, who are improving, or do the players go, "This is a chance to get rid of him"? You know,
I got another question. Because there's talk of him losing the dressing room.
Yeah.
Do you think he ever had it?
I'm not sure he did. No.
I don't think he ever had it. I think it's one of those things that you've brought in Thomas Frank, and he hasn't proved himself to the players. They haven't bought into what he's selling, and they haven't all of a sudden basically gone, we've spit our dummy out, do whatever. I don't think they ever did.
No, I think that's exactly right. I mean, I don't know it's whether they didn't think he had the track record, because actually I thought he did a really good job at Brentford, and I think probably there's a little bit of recognition in that dressing room of I don't mean to do an and, but they are who they are.
Yeah.
But that's the kind of manager level they're going to attract. But I do think it's they didn't buy into what he was selling. I think that's exactly right. You know, I think actually that defense, he's got a decent enough defense there, and actually he wanted to build off that defense and strengthen it and
Yeah.
tighten them up. And I don't think the Tottenham players like that.
Yeah. I
Actually,
agree.
and I think that's where, and I think he lost them almost instantly because he said, "This is how we're going to try and play." And I think but I think if you give him time, I think he'll get some runners into that midfield because Brentford had that. And I think he'll improve that side. I genuinely think he's a really good pick. If Tottenham sat Frank, I'm a happy bunny because I think it sets Tottenham back. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, unless they get somebody better, but I don't know who they get. I mean, if they're talking of Iriolas and whatever, you might as well have just kept Ange.
Yeah.
In my opinion, Ange, Iriola, and De Zerbi, he's not coming Spurs though, is he?
Don't know. But yeah, I mean, but I do think that Frank was a really sensible appointment. Doesn't mean the next one won't be a sensible appointment, but I think this could be, we're getting to make or break territory. I actually happen to think these rumours are true, actually, about Thomas Frank. You can kind of see it and kind of see it making sense. But I do think he's a good manager for Spurs. I think if they give him the proper time and buy-in, I think he could make a real big difference there. So I think this is difficult to go for. But Tottenham's home form is terrible. But I am bizarrely, everything screams Liverpool should win this game. But I'm going to go for a 2-1 Tottenham win. Just because they're owed a win, and I just think Thomas Frank wants to put a little bit of a FU. But Liverpool should win this game. That's a heart over head one there. Well, not a heart because I don't want Tottenham to win.
No,
but
I mean, yeah, you're kind of selling it to me, but yeah.
And Liverpool aren't great, are they?
No, but the atmosphere in that stadium's terrible.
Yep.
They all nobody knows where it's at. I don't know. I reckon Liverpool batter them.
Yeah, like I was saying earlier, you can sort of see you can stack that argument up really easily.
It's really not hard at all, is it? When you think about it, it's really not hard at all, and you're just like, well, I can see where you're coming from as well.
Yours is the more logical, rational argument. Mine is a little bit of it's sort of a feeling rather than anything else. And you can see how both, as you say, stack up. But Liverpool should win this game with where Spurs are at, and I don't think Liverpool are great.
Yeah,
Liverpool are what I said they were going to be pre-season. Although I had them finishing second, I just didn't like their balance.
Yes, Hoodlin, how are we, mate? Make sure you're hitting the likes and subscribes. That'd be much appreciated. Yeah, we're just doing some score predictions and then we're going to get out of here. So I think I'm going to go. I'm going to go 3-0 Liverpool.
That would, again, I've said it twice already. This will be the third time I think that wouldn't shock me.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that just because I'm a rival of Tottenham. It's just.
I think it's a very easy argument to stack up for that.
I just don't see them. I don't see them being a threat, to be honest. And I think the head's down already. And Liverpool,
and they want rid of Frank, don't they?
Yeah, I think so. Everton Arsenal then.
I think I said 2-1 last night. I think Arsenal edged this one. So I'm going to go with that. Apologies if that is bad luck. An evening with us is much preferable to Tesco's. But I'm going to go 2-1. I think that's what I said last night to be consistent. I think Arsenal will edge this one. I think it's going to be a tight game though. And that's because of Everton as much as anything else. I think they, are worthy of respect.
Yeah, but they've lost 2 players to AFCON as
2
well.
2 big players as well.
And they've got 1 out injured. Dewsbury Hall's injured as well. And I think Grealish just got a knock. So I think that should be all right. But
yeah, as we said earlier, I think Grealish will be there.
Yeah, was it and I that's
Yeah.
is the other one, and I'm sure they
They
lost two to
they
AFCON.
did lose to Ghana.
Yeah, that's it.
He's not gone to AFCON though. He's going for Olympic qualification at boxing.
Hey?
Well, he hit Michael Keane, didn't he, a couple of weeks ago?
Oh, God's sake. That is so bad, man. I was like, what are you on about?
It's not my worst
Okay.
joke of the day.
Yeah. I mean, that's worrying, to be honest. But yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna go 3-1 Arsenal. I think they're gonna be up for it. I think
I
this
think
team,
they will be. If
yeah,
not, that's when the worry starts. Not if they only just edge the performance, but if that intensity and energy isn't there, that's when I start to worry.
yeah, I think the away performances now, because obviously the bigger games are kind of out of the way. I think the performances away need to step up now and be a bit more convincing. And
Particularly if three games on the bounce without a win away from home in the league
yeah, I mean, obviously that was in a bit of a
over an elongated period.
elongated, a bit of a bit of a rough patch, a bit of a difficult patch, I guess. But yeah, I expect to kick on now. So
Yeah, likewise.
that's the hope, at least. Hoodlin, you're welcome at any time, mate. So we're going to do another show Thursday. So if you're available for that, just come on that, mate. The guy's got a massive telling off by Mikel after that Wolves game, and rightly so, mate. Rightly so, mate.
Yeah, Declan Rice and Martin Odegaard involved, and I was saying earlier, I think that's a positive. People go, "Look, they're
Yeah,
feeling the pressure, having the arguments in the dressing room." I don't think that is an argument in the dressing room. We'd heard about it. I think that was an honest conversation that was had in the dressing room, led by the players
yeah,
and the manager, and that's what you want to see.
yeah. Hoodlin's a steward, so
Oh, there you go. Well, he knew Hoodlin. You know better than me.
yeah,
Did you hear it?
yeah. So hopefully he's got some more information. That
Yeah, I mean,
um,
but you could see it. You knew it was coming. His reaction on the touchline and in the
oh
press
yeah, he's
conference.
fuming. He was absolutely fuming, and rightly so. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
There we go. Leeds United, Crystal Palace.
Do-do-do-do. I think Leeds might win this one.
You did.
I reckon they're going to win this one 2-1.
Leeds.
Yeah, I think this might be where Palace go for their rotation. I think they might mass
Okay.
rotate for this one because I think you want to win that game on Thursday if you're Palace in the Conference League to try and get that top 8 because, as you say, you missed 2 games, and I think a League Cup quarter final is going to be. Yeah, Hoodlin. I don't think that's a bad shout on the draw, but it will depend on Palace. How much do they rotate? But I think they're going to heavily rotate for this one, as much as Palace can, 4-5 changes, and that's quite a lot for them.
Yeah, I like Leeds, but I just can't see them. I'm second guessing myself now because after watching that City game, they were all right on the attack, but the clinical nature just was not there. I wonder if that's a bit of a drop off from them. I don't want it to be a drop off because if it's a drop off in that game, then they go in full strength against it on everything else, and then full strength against us as well.
I think that's what they're going to do. If Palace go strong against Leeds, I think Palace will at least get a draw, if not win it. But my view is that they're going to rotate against Leeds, thinking if we get a point, it's not the end of the world. But actually, our priority right now is those 2 cup games. I hope I'm wrong. I hope they go strength against Leeds and rotate against us. But
I mean, the thing is, they're 5th now. And if they win that game, they've got to see that game as winnable, haven't they?
Yeah, I think they will. Yeah, I think it's definitely winnable if they go there with all their big players. I think they should win that game.
So I mean, who have Palace got next
in the league?
Yeah,
they got Spurs at home.
So they've got Leeds, Spurs, Fulham, Newcastle, Villa.
It's a tough old run. They kind of need the points
Surely
there.
they go full strength against Leeds and Fulham.
Try and get the points.
Because they are currently 2 points off top 4. And we've said how tight it is. They lose those 2 games against Newcastle and
They can beat Spurs,
Villa.
but they can beat Spurs.
They can beat Spurs, but I'd still see that as a draw. I think if you're looking at it on paper, those other 2 are wins. The Spurs game's a draw, and Villa and Newcastle are losses. Right? If you just look at it on paper, you take all emotion out of it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it. If you're just working it out.
Right? Yeah. So I was looking at sort of as you were talking it through on the screen.
Yeah. So you basically got 7 points there. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're dropping 6 points.
Yeah.
So
and as a result, dropping to probably 9th.
Yeah. You're going mid-table again.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, other teams in that mix are going to lose and do whatever.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But yeah, surely you can't take any chances with those 2 games because you need to win.
You're looking at it all depend on how he sees it. Does he think he can rotate and win that game, or does he think, you know what, I'll just take the extra 2 games in February? I don't know what his thinking's going to be. But my gut feeling is he's going to think I can get something at Leeds. I don't know. It all depends on what he does there. But I'm going to go with a Leeds win because I just think he's going to rotate for this one at the weekend. But your logic is perfectly sound.
Yeah, and I'm not trying.
I don't know where his priority is going to lie. I really don't.
Yeah, and I'm not undermining anybody, and I'm certainly not saying that I know anything better than anybody else.
Nope.
That's just purely outside logic, kind of.
Yeah, well, exactly that. Both are, but we just don't know where his priority lies.
Yeah,
Thomas,
it might be complete failed logic. I don't know, but it's just
you can stack up the argument again. Again, you can stack up the argument either way, and how this one is a second guessing of what Glasner does.
Yeah. So that's what Dudlin says. I personally don't see. I don't think Palace manager will want to lose any games. He's that type of a manager. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So he's basically he's not going to rotate for Palace, for Leeds, and for Fulham.
But Fulham's a London derby as well. I don't see how he can play his strongest team in all 4 games in 10 days. Somewhere he's going to have to make a choice.
Yeah.
Either that or he's just going to hope he can get through it. And then,
Do they have any AFCON? I don't know if they do.
I don't know. I can check, but I don't remember them being significantly hit by AFCON.
I think United had lost 3, didn't they? But Sunderland were definitely the worst hit, with 7, I think.
Yeah.
Chelsea lost a couple.
Yeah, but they've got about 460.
They've got about 50 players anyway, so they're all right. Yeah, I still think Palace win like 3-1. There we go.
I'm just putting up Palace now. Come on, I've got to get rid of adverts. Palace only have 1.
Who's that?
Don't know. I'm just they've done it by country, so I can't find the Palace player here, but it's 1 player. I'm just scrolling down now just to see who they have got.
So at least they don't have to rotate because of that.
No, but their squad isn't big.
No, but they have been rotating for
the European games.
For the European games, anyway. I mean, they
and maybe he thinks he can do that. It's Salah that's gone.
So okay, well that's not ideal because he's all right. He's a decent player, isn't he? But
and it could well be that he goes, do you know what? I think we can get through the through that. We can still win that Europa League game with Europa Conference League game with heavy rotation, which is the logical one there, but it's whether it's how he sees those extra 2 games. I just don't know how he's going to see it.
Yeah. I'm just trying to see what the European fixture is.
Oh, it's someone unpronounceable.
On Thursday. Is it on Thursday?
Yeah, it is on Thursday. It is QUPS.
KUPS.
KUPS. Sorry, not Q. I don't know where it's no idea why I say Q because it's clearly a K.
Yeah, Cups.
Yeah.
Whoever they are.
They need something to qualify, by the way, because at the moment they're 25th. I don't even know what country they're from.
So what they've got? There's 8 games in this league, isn't there?
Yeah. Yeah, so there's 8 games, not 6. Yeah, this isn't the last one. There's 2 in January.
No, this isn't the last one. So there's 2 more games, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's how it works, anyway.
Yeah, it's the same as the Champions League.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah.
They're from Finland, so there we go. You learn something new every day.
They were meant to lose 4 players, but 3 did not get selected. Okay, cool.
Have you seen the Cameroon shenanigans?
No.
They picked 2 different squads because they've got 2 different managers. This is true. They sacked one, but the coach refused to leave, and they announced another one, and both coaches selected a squad.
Right.
I mean, I'm assuming it's been resolved by now, but
well, you would hope, wouldn't you? But
not calling up their top goal scorer, and conspiracy theories have it that Samuel Eto'o is the president of Cameroon and is obviously their all-time top goal scorer.
So he doesn't want to score,
which is why he sacked the first coach. Yeah. It was genuinely one of those ones where I had to double check that this was not like an article winding me up. But, I haven't got some kind of big sports page. But yeah, I mean, I'm assuming it's resolved now. Hoodlin seems to know about it too. Maybe he can,
Yeah, I don't know. It seems a bit odd. But yeah. Okay, let's get these finished then, and we can get out of here. But Aston Villa, Man United.
Villa's run's got to come to an end at some point, but I don't think against United. I think they win it 2-1. 3-1, actually. United can't defend.
I actually see Man United winning it. I don't know why.
You're doing what I did earlier, just one of those no logic behind it.
Well, I don't think there's any logic behind it, but I think United can beat anybody and lose to everybody.
Yeah. I think that's exactly right.
I think they can, but I think the only thing I would say is that Villa's kind of chance creation isn't as much as it's not as assured as other teams, and the amount of shots that Man United had over the last few fixtures is just craziness.
Well, as we all know, from earlier, Manchester United are title contenders as a Villa.
The coach has said that his contract was with the Ministry of Sport and not the FA. Okay.
Amazing.
And Hoodlin says Villa 2-0. Yeah, I'm going 2-1 Man United.
United can score.
That's all the basis is, and I'm kind of just going on that they're away from Old Trafford and away from some of the pressure.
Yeah,
that's kind of it, and it might sound completely nonsense. It's nothing against Villa. I know people think it is, but it just isn't.
This is a classic Unai Emery hot streak. This is from Villa.
Well, that's my other thinking is he does so well and then he just implodes a little bit.
Yeah,
but United has lost their 2 biggest goal threats. That's a thing too, actually. So Mbuemo's gone, hasn't he? Has Cunha gone? No, Cunha hasn't gone. Ahmad, Mbuemo. There's another one. There's a third. Mazraoui is the other one.
Oh, I forgot he was even there.
Yeah, he's the right back.
I'd just forgotten that he existed.
Yeah, he played the other week.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's got potential as well. I'm not changing my opinion based on that because yeah, I don't think they're the main goal threats anyway. And like say if Cunha's still there, Sesko's back as well, isn't he? So
is he back from injury now? Is he?
Yeah, he played last night.
Fair enough. I didn't.
Well, he came on a snub.
Came on the bench, didn't he? Yeah, of course he did. Yeah,
came on snub. Yeah. So, yeah.
It's funny when I was on the show whilst watching the game, you kind of forget sometimes that these players come on.
Yeah. Did it finish 2-1 in the end? 3-1. Okay. Fairs. I mean, they give them a game anyway, at least.
Yeah, exactly. Which is,
But I mean, I don't expect them to lose to Cardiff, to be honest. But
no, I didn't either.
They had to put their hitters on to do it.
Yeah.
And that celebration is wild.
Honestly. Shame Cardiff couldn't defend.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. They've got one of our ones there, so our old ones, that's probably why. Yeah. Last one. The last one on Monday is Fulham against Forest.
Forest on a good run, but so Fulham. I think Fulham will take this 1-2-1.
I'd say 2-1 Forest, to be honest. But then
it's difficult week prediction wise, this one, isn't it?
It's weird. There are a lot of two-sided ones where you can see it going either way.
Yeah.
For me, so yeah, but that's good. Yeah. Right, I think we're there, mate.
Yep, enjoyed that.
Yeah, it was a very good show. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Please make sure you're subscribing to the channel, sharing the video when I put the post out as well. Any comments, put them in the comment section, and I'll get back to them as soon as I can. And yeah, we're gonna shoot off. We're going to see you next time. We'll have another show on Thursday, and we'll see you around there. Thank you very much for coming on as well, Dom.
No, as always, thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here.
You're welcome.
Best dressed guest you've got, aren't I?
Is what?
Best dressed guest that you have, aren't
I? Something like that, yeah.
Shirt, smart jumper.
Yeah. We're not going to do the posh conversation where we slag each other off. You know what I mean? Like we're better fans than anybody else. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, definitely not doing that. It's just because it's possible I might have got home from work just before the show.
Standard behaviour, right? Right, guys. We'll see you on Thursday. Please make sure you're liking, subscribing, and we'll see you next time. Good night.